Aries, welcome to your December of 2015 Sidereal Astrology forecast. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology, very different from mainstream astrology, which you can find more about down below if you're new to this type of astrology. All right, Aries, so this month, another transformative month, at least in the first half, and then things sort of transform after that, especially for you. This is involving your ruler Mars primarily, which is going to be forming a T-square between Pluto and Uranus. We do have a new moon in your 8th house as well as a full moon in your 3rd a little bit later on in the month. So let's go ahead and look at this in terms of how things are unfolding. If you do want more specific information, check out your weeklies where I'll go into all the aspects. What I'm going to highlight here are just the major ones and the overall energies. So from the 1st through the 5th, we've got Saturn still squaring up to Neptune for these first 5 days of the month. This has been that uncertainty and doubt about the future. I don't think it's going to be nearly as strong as last month because this will have already gone exact at the end of November. And here it's sort of waning in that way. So we're pretty much used to it. We kind of understand it. And it's essentially about, going with the flow. It's having faith and trust. At the same time, working hard towards our future, even though we don't know exactly where it's going or what it is. So this has been involved with everything that's been really deep for you, everything that's been very meaningful. It's been Saturn transiting your 8th house, helping you build foundations in your life that are meaningful for you. So continuously growing and expanding and having faith with that, as well as anything in the organizational sense. If there's any type of group environment, organization, anything to do with friends or even progressive things, same with that. The uncertainty then being channeled into a much more concrete and faithful direction. So that's going to be the first 5 days, and then through that it is becoming solidified in the long term. So continuously growing on those levels I think will be an important emphasis for the next couple months at least. Now this month in particular though, from the 5th through the 8th, we do have then Mars forming that square up to Pluto, forming that T-square. So the key with this is, especially for you, because this is your ruler, Mars, it's about non-attachment. Pluto is about going deep. It's about everything raw and real. It's also about stripping away a lot of the things that we think we often want, but they aren't for our highest good, or we don't really see them as things that we may actually want, but they are good for us. So with this, it's important to have non-attachment. It's important to see things for how they are and to really come from compassion. It's that space. It's that willingness to dive deep, the willingness to see the truth above all else. So this is happening in the 6th house for you, which is about the daily stuff. So whether for you it's your work, whether it's your health, your diet, your regiments, anything you do on that daily level. Here, Pluto is going to be transforming that this month. It's already been quite transformative because that's essentially the nature of Mars, who's been in your 6th house already. So I think there's a lot of intentions. I think there's still a lot of focus involving this area, but the key, especially between the 5th and the 8th, 5th through the 8th, is to have non-attachment, right, and compassion and be willing to change things. And maybe even in regards to your life path, this has been Pluto in your 9th house. Anything involving philosophy, spirituality, your overall view of life in general could be transforming as well. So be patient with that, be patient with the daily stuff, and be willing to get rid of anything old to make way for the new there. And I think you all are going to be transforming quite a bit this month, in fact, especially when your Sun and Mercury go into your 9th a little bit later, which I'll talk about. So, but right at the beginning, on the 9th, Mercury does go into that 9th house of yours. So there is this sort of awareness, at least from the rational viewpoint, and practical insight in terms of transformation, what it's like to be transformed, what it's like to have that overarching perspective of life. And so I think your mind's going to be there. I think your communications could certainly be there, maybe theorizing, philosophizing, things like that, which is a great way of working with this Mercury transit. And that's nice because it's coming at a good time between this T-square. And then from the 9th through the 12th, so about this middle part of the month, early to middle part, Mars does oppose up to Uranus. So the key with this is watch any rash decisions. Sometimes we feel like acting impulsively, doing some sudden things, but to a degree, there's something there to listen to, and that's freedom. I think naturally around this time period, you're probably going to be wanting to free yourself from any type of restrictions or anything holding you down, again, in that daily sphere. It could even, and it's just you in general, right? And it could even be involving these deeper aspects of life, since Mars does also rule your 8th. But the key with this is to not jump to any conclusions, not do anything too rash, but listen to that freedom, because there's, I think, something that needs to change, whether it's with the routine, the work, the daily stuff. And it could be, for you to have more spiritual freedom, to get maybe some more alone time, to get some more of that, presence in your life, something like that, which is that 12th house, or maybe just listening to that intuition. So balance is the name of the game, and through this, it could be quite liberating, in fact, if it's done very constructively with this transit by the end of it. So then from the 10th through the 11th, Venus does trine up to Neptune, which is pretty good, very nice for the relationships, I'd say, these couple days, depending on your personal charts. All this is very much dependent on your personal charts, but could also even be good financially, perhaps. You're just seeing the flow and trust and faith with those things maybe unfolding quite well, which is good. Then on the 11th, we do have the new moon. And so this is taking place in your 8th house. So there's new beginnings now with everything deep, everything meaningful for the next 4 weeks from this point onward, and for the next 6 months. It's a time to sort of reevaluate and see where you can have more of that spiritual freedom in terms of, space, in terms of what's really meaningful to you, and continuously expanding and growing in those particular areas. Because again, with Saturn, in order for you to have anything long lasting in your life right now, it really has to be true. It has to be true to you. So it's a good time to reflect on those things. Again, it could be with relationships, it could be with your self-expression, it could be with work, with home, whatever it might be, but probably just generally all areas of life. And those insights will start to build as the second half of the month unfolds, in which you can put more energy, more positive energy, so you can have a greater bond with those areas of your life. Again, whether it's with yourself, with your relationships, whatever, and release yourself too from unhealthy bonds, which is a big part of the 8th house also. So some things there to consider. And then on the 16th, Venus does go into your 7th house of relationships, which is pretty nice. It's a good house and sign position for her to be in. So here, those one-on-one connections could be quite enjoyable, could be good for mutuality, and just overall having maybe that sense of freedom as well in those relationships. That enjoyment there that could go a long ways. Now on the 19th, Mercury conjoins up to Pluto in your 9th house. So your whole perspective is changing this month, your whole view of life to a degree, especially in, again, the practical sense. Your routine could be changing, your work could be changing on a daily level, okay, because Mercury does rule your 6th house. Now, this isn't too big, again, very much dependent on your personal chart, but this does happen, at least once a year, sometimes more, if Mercury goes retrograde over that position. So it's not, to keep it in context, this happens once a year, usually, and here it's a change so that you can have, I think, more of that freedom in the daily stuff and have it more in alignment with what you're truly about. Now on the 21st, the sun goes into that 9th house. So here now the focus, all the fast-moving planets at this point are out of your 8th. So the focus is on the more philosophical, expansive, overarching view of life, which is pretty good. And then on the 25th, which will be Christmas, for those of us who celebrate Christmas, we're going to have that full moon in Gemini, which is going to be in your 3rd house, which is an awareness and also culmination from anything over the past 6 months that you've been involved with. Regarding reading, socializing, writing, communicating, interacting, synergizing in life, which is that 3rd house. So it's an awareness point. It's a time to sort of reflect on that as well, but there's a lot of positive energy in general going into that with that full moon. So with the awareness, you can channel that more practical understanding, because it's this balance between, what's possible and then what's practical, what's real. And so that synergy, that balance between the two, you'll have available, you can see it. So it's about channeling that into the other areas of your life. All right. So, but again, it could also be culmination as well from over the past 6 months involving those things. And then also on the 25th, Uranus does go station direct in that 12th house. So there are things shifting at the end of the month involving the importance of, again, spiritual freedom, what it's like to have that connection to God, that connection to life that, is about that faith and trust and going with the flow. That is incredibly liberating for a lot of you right now with this kind of transit, especially if you have some sort of Uranus aspect with your personal charts. All right, Aries, so that's the nutshell for the month. If you guys have any questions, please do let me know. Hope you guys have a fantastic holiday season. Do stay tuned for this brief message about the special that I'm going to be running between now through December for the holidays. All right, so I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. All right, so it's that time of the year again for the holidays. I'm running a special this year. Get one reading for yourself for 2016 and gift that exact same reading to a friend or family member for the holidays. So whether it's a live phone or Skype session, whether it's a 1-hour recorded reading or a mini birth chart reading, you get that exact same reading you can gift out. So for more information on that, do click the link directly below. And I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday season. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because I also do daily and weekly videos. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.